Skylanders Spyro's Adventure is the latest game featuring the fire-belching purple dragon. The magical kingdom of Skylands is under threat by the return of a nasty enemy Chaos. So it's up to Spyro to defend the magical kingdom and its core of light, and this time he's brought a few friends along.
The working title for the game was originally Spyro's Kingdom. It was going to be an adult game with lots of blood and a sinister storyline. But the developers felt this wasn't in keeping with the spirit of Spyro, so they went back to the drawing board.
And what they came up with was this. You've got this portal which plugs into your console, and each one of these characters has a microchip which stores all your character information. If you want to play as this particular character, you put it on, and then it appears in the game.
The starter pack comes with 3 characters, but the rest you have to buy separately. There are 32 characters in total to collect, and each are charged with a specific element: earth, air, fire, water, life, undead, tech, and magic. You'll immediately notice that certain areas of the game can only be accessed by a Skylander of a particular element. So whilst you don't need to buy all 32 characters, if you want to access every single part of the game, you're going to need at least 8, one for each element.
It's a bit sneaky, isn't it? First, you have to pay for the game itself, and then if you want to experience all of the content in the game, you have to keep buying characters to be able to do it. It really taps into that need to collect that you see with things like Pokemon trading cards.
I have to say though, guys, that while all this fancy tech is all great, the actual gameplay I was pretty disappointed with. I mean, the main story mission, for the most part, is pretty easy. No matter which Skylander you choose, you start with 2 combat moves to alternate between, and you'll use these to blow through baddies to smash crates and reveal treasure.
I felt the movement was fairly restrictive. There's no jump, dash, or combat roll, so you just plod through the levels, and it was all quite basic. Your character will gain new abilities as it levels up. For example, Spyro eventually gained the ability to hover over the ground, but I didn't find this particularly useful because you'd still hit invisible walls when you tried to fly over gaps. There are some puzzle elements in the game, but I wouldn't really call them puzzles. It's pretty much, oh, I wonder where the key is to unlock this. There it is.
The real brain teasers are left for the element-specific zones, which are just bonus areas that you don't have to complete, and you only can complete them if you have a Skylander of that element anyway, sold separately. I would have preferred to have seen those challenges brought into the main game.
I felt the same way about those challenge arenas that you had to complete in a sort of dungeon in a short time limit. They were quite punishing, and I ended up just skipping through them because you didn't have to do them.
You'll also notice within the game that certain characters are more powerful in certain areas.
Skylanders of the magic element are stronger in this zone.
So it's best to use the right character in the right zone, and swapping them out is easy. You just take one off and put the other on, and there it's done. It's flawless. Well, it's almost flawless.
Yeah, I was moving through each area quite happily, sort of swapping my characters in and out, when occasionally the game would bug out and not actually let me change my Skylander, which was really annoying because the game kept telling me that Skylanders of the tech element are more powerful in this zone. But when I tried to take the Skylander off, it would tell me to just put the Skylander back on, and when I put a different one on there, it told me that there were too many on the portal. Gah!
Yeah, so there's clearly some kinks still, and at every turn the game is suggesting that you buy more Skylanders.
You need an undead Skylander to unlock this game.
Yeah, I kind of get that though. I mean, what's the point of creating all of these different characters if you're not going to utilize their various skills? I wish the application of those powers had been a little bit more advanced. There are some cool aspects to their playstyles though. For example, Trigger Happy is a kind of Western-inspired gunslinger who also throws exploding anvils, whereas Stealth Elf, she's more of a rogue and can stun her enemies, then slice and dice with her daggers.
I quite liked Prism Break. He can create large crystals in the ground and then fire a laser, which, when reflected through them, can take out multiple enemies. Oh, I dropped him.
You dropped him. Oh. I found the combat overall was really easy until you got to the end of the level, and then there were heaps of enemies, and I'd find I just burned through all my Skylanders within a minute, and you'd just be too overconfident.
But again, it's just balance, isn't it? I mean, the game is either boringly easy or unexpectedly hard all of a sudden. I would have preferred a more balanced game with a difficulty curve that let you build up your skills.
Amongst the treasure and gems you'll be grabbing, there are also wearable items you can get that, when equipped to your character, will make them stronger. So with all the character classes and leveling up and gear you can collect, they've gone down an RPG road, which I like, but they've just made it way too simple.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about more complex games that younger spawnings out there are playing, like Minecraft, Mario Galaxy, Pokemon, I mean, you wonder who they've playtested this on. Babies, maybe.
Maybe Darren.
Negative.
Oh, you're very good at games, Darren.
Affirmative. Skylanders can also be played in co-op, but only locally, not online. The game will ask a second player to place their Skylander on the portal next to the first player, and away you go. It's good fun adventuring through Skylands with a friend, and everything you do will be saved inside your character to take home with you. And the most impressive aspect of the Skylanders technology is that it is cross-platform. You can take your Skylander to a friend's house, so it doesn't matter if you have an Xbox 360 and your friend has a Wii, your Skylander will work on any portal.
Yes, that's very clever. I think I like the multiplayer battle mode the best. There are 3 different versus modes and 4 different maps to choose from. Arena Rumble, which is just a one-on-one fight to the death. Sky Goals, which involves scoring the most goals with a ball that's repeatedly tossed into the arena, and Gem Master, in which you have to be the first to collect 5 gems that are released into the arena throughout the game, while trying to stop your opponent from doing the same.
These were really fun. I particularly liked Gem Master. It was the game that felt the most evenly matched, and it made for a lot of close calls. Since it is local multiplayer, it meant the maps were quite small, but I think they were kept really fun and interesting with the various flame buttons, spike pits, and items placed around each map, which you can try to use against your opponent. And I just love the way the announcer would point them out at the beginning of each round. Rocket hat, mega damage.
Sewage button.
But we should wrap this up, Badge. Final thoughts?
I think the technology and the cross-platform is really exciting, but I'm always worried about having to buy extra things to just experience every part of the game. Having said that, if there is a zone you can't unlock, you might have a friend who has that particular character, so it does encourage you to buddy up. I'm giving it 7 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, I think the tech is really great as well, and I love that there were so many little items to collect if you're willing to put in the time to look for them. But in general, I just wish it was more consistent with difficulty across the board and that the RPG elements were a little bit more complex. I did have great fun in multiplayer though, so I'm giving it 6.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
It didn't really have any robots in it, though. What did it? No robot element.
Don't think, well, there's a tech element, so that's kind of...
It's kind of, but it's not the same.
I wish we could shrink you down and put you in the game, Darren.
Oh, that'd be great,
That
wouldn't
would have
it?
been amazing.
I think I've got a shrink ray in the Darren cave. Let's start with you first, though, Barjo, just to test it.
Okay, just on my belly though.
Still working on that equatorial bulge.